last part of the 20th century, mobile phones and the internet emerged as major technologies, radically changing the way we communicate and revolutionizing our individual and collective lives. As is the case with all scientific innovations, everyone wants to have it, and that brings about changes. One thing leads to the next. As a result, the stages of technological metamorphosis increase, convergences occur, and even newer technologies emerge. For the information and communication technology sector, and for the telecommunications industry in particular, broadband is the newest bling.
Information communication technology, from the young to the old, is for all of we to maximize your intellectual capacity. Realize the main goal is to shine like the sun and learn of the whole world. Faster than sound, from in your hometown, from in your own home, reach Paris and Rome.
The National Information and Communication Technology Strategy Fast Forward calls for the transformation of our country to a knowledge-based society by 2020. To get there, this transformation must be fueled by our increased use of information and communication technologies and their promotion in support of e-commerce and e-government.
Well, Trinidad and Tobago's economy is based basically on energy and factor-based production, but the potential for Trinidad and Tobago to leverage ICTs to transform the economy is huge. So what we're doing is getting to businesses the benefits of using ICTs, leveraging broadband to access markets internationally, to provide goods and services to persons who wouldn't otherwise know about them, to showcase their goods, etc., and to make links with large international companies that do all of their business online or through integrated electronic networks. So the potential for change is huge.
Of course, achieving this kind of agenda by the next decade or so means being able to have access now to high-speed internet services.
In Trinidad, we know those services by various names: broadband, cable modem, DSL, wireless high-speed. But basically it all forms under one umbrella, which is broadband internet services.
In most broadband networks, a great amount of fiber optic cable is used that can transmit information quicker and obviously a lot more of it over the same amount of space. So really a narrowband application is old technology, slow technology.
In the old dial-up world, you want to go on the internet, you have to make a conscious decision. Anybody on the phone, you have to make sure no one's on the phone. You dial up, you get connected, you do what you have to do and get off. Broadband typically is always on, it's fast, and it's always there.
Broadband in Trinidad is a relatively new concept. It's been around for the past 4 or 5 years. And with new players in the market emerging over the last year and a half or two, it's really given consumers in Trinidad the availability of first-world technology right in our own backyard.
The best analogy for broadband is the roadway.
A 10-lane highway as compared to a 1-lane highway.
You have a right-of-way, and in that right-of-way you have a variety of uses. You've got pedestrians on a sidewalk, you've perhaps got cyclists alongside them, you may have cars parked. And then on the traffic pattern lanes in both directions, you've got a variety of vehicles of various sizes and shapes.
One can get to one's destination much faster, as there's much more wiggle room and much more capacity to maneuver the car along the way.
Clearly, when we sit in rush hour, we see the impact of a clogged transportation system. There are rules and protocols and standards for them, just like there are for vehicles. Broadband is a way to give you faster access. It's really the way we all want to travel to work and to travel home in our vehicles.
The term broadband is commonly used to describe recent internet connections that are significantly faster than earlier dial-up technologies. What was considered fast internet connections some years ago is now designated narrowband. Broadband, narrowband. What does all of this have to do with you?
Your laptop is at your fingertips. Your BlackBerry phone is at your fingertips. And with broadband services available to you, it will allow, first of all, business in public and private sector to be able to offer their services more readily available and easily to the consumers. That's one advantage for business people. The second advantage is that consumers would have less time going in lines, being able to have a better quality of life, being able to order and transact their business at their own leisure.
When people have broadband access at their homes, for example, government is doing government services online, you don't have to get out of your house to go to a government ministry to find out information or to make a payment or to access a service. You can do that from wherever you are. Clearly that helps differently abled people, but it helps all of us. There's a lot of traffic and transportation woes. So that's one way. Also, for persons who are blind or who have impediments in some other way, you can use the technology to assist them to interact in an effective manner. So there are books that read to you. There are voice recognition software for those persons who don't have physical ability to type and to write, etc. So all of these things allow you to interact with communities and to work and to be effective in ways that were not available before.
A major challenge facing the global ICT community is the delivery of broadband to its citizens. Administrations around the world are putting in place policies and strategies for providing internet access for its populations. Our country is part of that process.
We spoke to TNTech recently, and TNTech has the largest deployment of fiber in the country other than TSCT. And we are working with them to what we call universal service, rural access to technology, to making sure that there's no great divide between the haves and the have-not as far as information goes. And so once providers come up with content, meaning businesses and so on, providing their content online, or selling online, etc., nobody will be left out. In fact, you will be able to move away from the towns and still be plugged in to where the economic activity is, where the communities are, where even public discourse is happening. You will not be away from the happening, even if you're physically apart.
In terms of broadband, there are about 20,000 people with broadband connections, 14,000 individuals, about 6,000 small businesses, and so on. It might sound like a lot, but again, it's compared to the rest of the world, you know, we are just climbing the curve, really. I mean, when you look at the recent Telecom Authority stats, which go up to, I think, beginning of 2007, our penetration in terms of users, not necessarily people who have accounts, is somewhere between 12 and 15% of the population.
We've been able to accomplish about 90% of population coverage in Trinidad and about 60% coverage in Tobago.
For Flow in Trinidad, we presently offer our service to about 70,000 households. And because we're continuously upgrading our network, we literally increase that household count every other week. By the end of 2008, for instance, that will double to about 140,000 households. And by the time we pretty well complete the network upgrade in 2010, we will probably hit around 300,000 households in Trinidad.
With the acquisition last year of the 700 megahertz frequency from the Telecommunication Authority via competitive auction, that platform enables us to offer more penetration into more rural areas where physical infrastructure and physical impediments to providing broadband services, be it that there is no telephone lines or be it that there's hills or trees, preventing current infrastructure from servicing those areas. With our acquisition of that spectrum, it will allow us to penetrate those areas in a very timely and a very efficient and reliable manner.
It's a plus. I think that's the way the future is going now, and I feel that we use it so much that I see the need for a lot of businesses and individuals as well to really capitalize on the whole broadband system.
I think that's wonderful, and that's really more and more the way we want to go, to really be part of this whole exciting global experience.
We use it in a lot of ways. We use it with blogging. We use the blogging system. We also use the intranet and the internet. And we've found that it really helps us expand our business because it takes us internationally.
We have our agents like in London, in Canada, and then we're going to be setting up a drop zone in the US so that the products can be sent there and they can then distribute.
Well, we have major connections in Europe, all parts of Europe, France, Spain, the UK, some parts of Eastern Europe and Northern Europe. Also as far as Asia Pacific, so a lot of the Asian Pacific countries. We also into Africa as well, and Australia. We're in a big way in Australia and most of the United States. So it really is all over the world.
Because sometimes with respect to skincare, you may be moving a customer from 1 to 3 different products. We're also going to be doing an illustration on the website on how you use the product. So the website is going to be really very information based.
We can download images that they can share. We can share images throughout the world. We can share information. We can download videos of our products, and so that basically there's no limit.
It's quite well noted that there is a high correlation between economic development and development of telecommunications in any country. What you'll find is that as we continue to develop our telecommunications sector, we will become more competitive internationally. So that will bring a whole social aspect, and that will bring a lot of economic development to the country generally. A lot of this starts with the school and the education sector. There's a lot of emphasis, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but internationally, in having schools, having a lot more IT connectivity to schools. What that will do is make the country as a whole a lot more IT savvy. It'll make us a lot more competitive, and hopefully that'll place us on the map.
For Trinidad and Tobago, obviously a big part of the culture is the entertainment, is what this country offers that's different than anyone else. And whether it's Carnival or the Jazz Festival, artists can all of a sudden showcase their talents on a world stage. And it can obviously as well increase tourism dollars, because people that would probably not know too much about this country have access to information that's either promoted directly to them or through other broadband sites that allow people to come to the country and to see what this country offers.
I think it's no secret that as far as crime fighting and policing, a key component to that is information. And in a lot of other jurisdictions, markets, you find that broadband is being used as a tool to deliver information to, say, for instance, the police cars, whether it be fingerprint databases, whether it be mug shots, and so on. I mean, we aren't at that stage yet, but there's no reason why we can't.
I think what's really transformational underway now is that the government has a broadband capacity internally that they will continue to expand. They will be introducing more advanced portal technologies, which creates the ability for collaboration within ministries and across ministries, and collaboration with government officials and citizens and NGOs. And so you really move into a world of e-government and e-democracy, which is very transformational.
We applaud the government's efforts into providing everything online, providing an e-government platform. I think what we'll do is revolutionize the way the government does business in Trinidad, and the way people start seeing and getting more results from what they expect from government, be it your birth certificate, your passport, your driver's license, registering a vehicle or taxes, would become available at your fingertips. And that's what people want. Currently, people use broadband services to order movies online, to deliver to Amazon or eBay, which is all international-based companies. Once they start seeing the benefits of local delivery of services, it will really be the icing on the cake for the broadband users in Trinidad and Tobago.
Without a doubt, broadband technology is the new catalyst in this era of rapid change. From all appearances, broadband is moving us closer and closer to our dream of an information society in which all persons are free to create, receive, share, and utilize information and knowledge in any media. regardless of geography, income, disability, or education. It is our country's hope that by 2020, this broadband paradigm will become so pervasive